Morphology is a branch of linguistics that studies the structure, form, and formation of words in a language. In the study of morphology, we learn how words are formed from morphemes, the smallest unit of meaning. First thing in word as meaningful building blocks of language. Words are the smallest unit in a language that convey specific meanings, acting as building blocks that help us construct sentences, communicate idea, and express emotion. Each word as a building block contribute a unique piece of meaning that, when combined with other words, create complex message. For instance, in a sentence, the cat sleep, each word, the, cat, and sleep, play a role in forming the overall meaning of the sentence. Word as types and word as tokens. Word as types. This refers to the distinct form of word, where each unique word is counted once regardless of how many times it appears. For example, in a sentence, the cat chased the cat, there are three word types: the, cat, and chased. Word token. This refers to every individual instance of a word, counting all occurrences using the same sentence. The cat chased the cat. We would count five tokens: the, cat, chase, the, and cat. Differentiating between types and tokens help in linguistic analysis, particularly in areas like vocabulary, richness, and frequency analysis. Words with predictable meanings. Words with predictable meanings are those whose meanings can be deduced based on their components. For example, in English, the word unkind combines the prefix "un", meaning not, and "kind" to predictably mean not kind. Morphology often study how such predictable patterns function across language, helping speakers from understanding new words eventually. Non-words with unpredictable meanings. Non-words with unpredictable meanings refer to sequences that may resemble words but don't have a straightforward, predictable meanings based on their structure alone. For example, words create placeholders or coined terms like quark in physics may not have immediately clear meanings and require external contexts or cultural understanding. Morphology examines how such items may become established within the lexicon or resist predictable analysis. 3. Word versus lexical items. While words are single, discrete unit of meaning, lexical items encompass both our word and fixed multi-word expression. Idioms like kick the bucket or compound like ice cream. Lexical items are units that carry specific meanings regardless of whether they are single words or group of words, which is may not be fully analyzable by their parts. Morphologists analyze both of word and lexical item to understand language structure at broader level than single word boundaries. To understand the structure of word, we look at morphemes, the smallest unit of meaning in a language. Here a breakdown. Taking words apart. Word can often be broken down into smaller parts. For instance, in the word unhappiness, there are three morphemes. Un, a prefix meaning not, happy, a root meaning feeling pleasure, and ness, a suffix meaning state of. By analyzing words in this way, we can understand how different morphemes contribute to meaning. 2. Kind of morphemes. Bound versus free. Free morphemes. These can stand alone as words like book or run. They have meaning by themselves. Bound morphemes. These can stand alone and must be attached to another morphemes. For instance, prefix like un in unhappy, suffixes like in quickly. Bond morphemes modify the meaning or function of a root or base word. Kind of morphemes: root, affix, combining form. Root Root is the core of the word that carries the primary meaning. For example, in replay, play is the root. Affix: a bound morpheme added to a root to change its meaning. Affixes include prefix, beginning of word, in replay, suffix, end of a word, ad in play. Combining form: a morpheme that combines with other often used in scientific or technical terms. For example, bio, life, and logy, study of, come together to form biology. This breakdown of morphemes helps us understand how words are structured and formed in language. Words and their parts: focusing on morpheme, roots, affix, and the methods used to analyze and classify them. First, morphemes and their allomorphs. Morpheme, the smallest unit of meaning in a language. Allomorph, variation variation of a morpheme that appear in different contexts but have the same meaning. For example, the plural morphemes in English, which can appear as s, es, or en, as in cats, dishes, and oxen. Type of morphemes. Free morphemes can stand alone as word. For example, book, run. Bound morphemes must be attached to another morpheme. For example, prefix like an and suffix like ed. Identifying morphemes independently of meaning. Phonological and orthographic evidence: examining consistent or spelling patterns to identify morphemes. Distributional analysis: observing how morphemes are distributed across words to see recurring patterns. Contextual clues: identifying morphemes based on the syntactic or grammatical environment rather than their meaning. 3. Way of classifying word parts: roots, the core morpheme of a word carrying the main meaning. For example, script and describe. Affix morpheme, the attached to root to modify meaning or function. Prefix like affix added to the beginning of a root. For example, unhappy, suffix affixes added to the end of a root. For example, nest in happiness. Infixes, affix inserted with a root, less common in English. Inflectional versus depressional affix. Inflectional affix modify a word to indicate tense, number, gender without changing its core meaning or part of speech. Derivational affix create new words by changing meaning and often the part of speech. For example, word and grammar: lexeme, word form, and grammatical words. Lexemes are the abstract underlying unit of meaning in language. A lexeme can have multiple forms, which represent variation of the same basic idea. For example, run, runs, run, and running. Are all forms are the lexeme run. Word form are the different grammatical manifestation of a lexeme. They vary based on tense, number, mood, etc. In a lexeme run, the word form changes according to tense: run for past or number runs for third person singular. Grammatical words are specific forms of a lexeme that carry distinct grammatical meanings. They serve roles like marking tense, plurality, or case. For instance, children as a grammatical word show plurality for lexeme child. Regular and irregular inflection. Regular inflection follow predictable pattern, usually by adding common suffix. For instance, in English, regular nouns from their plural by adding s. For example, cat and cats. And regular verb from their past tense by adding ed. play, like played. Irregular inflection does not follow these regular rules, often involving change in the word internal structure or using uncommon suffix. For example, go changed when not got in the past tense in child become children in the plural. Form of nouns. Nouns can have various forms based on number, case, and gender in language that marks gender. Number. Noun can appear in singular or plural form. In English, most nouns become plural by adding s. For example, book to be books. But irregular nouns have unique plural form. Man become men. Case in some language, nouns change from form to show grammatical case. For example, nominative, accusative, genitive. English has minimal case marking, mostly seen possessive girl, girls. Gender. Some languages have gendered nouns like masculine, feminine, neuter, which can influence the form of the noun in any related word like article or. Inflection refers to how words change from to express different grammatical categories such as tense, case, gender, number, or degree. Different parts of speech undergo inflection in various ways. Form of pronouns and determiners. Pronouns and determiners change form to indicate case. For example, subjective, objective, possessive. Subjective case I, he, she, we, they. Objective case me, him, her, us, them. Possessive case my, mine, his, her, hers, our, ours, their, theirs. Number singular or plural, such as this singular versus this plural. Gender pronouns like he, masculine, or she, feminine. In English reflect gender, though some languages have more gender distincts. Person, first person, I, we, second person, you, and third person, he, she, it, they. Example, she, subjective singular feminine, charge change to her objective, or hers possessive. This singular change to this plural. Form of verbs. Verbs change form to indicate tense. For example, present, past, future. Walk become walked, past tense. Aspect. For example, progressive, perfect. She is walking, present progressive. She has walked, present perfect. Mood. For example, indicate, indicative, imperative, subjunctive. He was indicative versus if he were subjunctive. Voice. For example, active and passive. She read the book, active, versus the book is read by her, passive. Person and number. Agreement verb often change to agree with the subject in person and number. I run, he runs, they run. Form of adjective. Adjective often change form to express comparison degree. For example, positive, comparative, superlative. Small, positive, smaller, comparative, smallest, superlative. In English, most adjectives do not change based on agreement, but some languages require this form of inflection.